There's already mainstream media outlets who are slamming this guy, defending San Francisco like a raccoon guarding garbage on trash day, but that's a different story. What is up? My name is Eric. This channel is called Report and Opine. I am back. This, of course, is the epicenter for all of your current and captivating coastal elite chaos. So please hit that subscribe button, like the video, ring the notification bell, leave a comment or two, share this with a friend. Let's go. Now, I think this is actually really good news. We are now at the point where the mainstream legacy mediocres have to report on TikTok. We saw the Stanley Cup craze, and now Keith Lee, former MMA fighter turned food critic, announced he's going to the Bay Area, and they have to report on this stuff. For nearly a week, it was news that he was going to go to the Bay Area and then showed up at a basketball game and was courtside and all of this stuff. But the word is out. Everyone in the country, in the world arguably, knows that the Bay Area and California, almost as a whole, is basically a third world country. So now this man with millions of followers announces he's going to the Bay Area. He shows up there and says, you know what? I'm out of here. I can't do this. Why did he leave? Now, he sugarcoated it a little bit. He said, oh, the people were so great. He had an allergic reaction, but he also talks about the tents and the homelessness and the conditions. Let's take a look here at the video he posted. I guess he posted it to his TikTok, but he doesn't post the same stuff to Instagram that he does as TikTok. So this is from a Bay Area, I don't know, urban news account or something like that.
Unfortunately, the Bay Area stop on the Keith Lee and family food tour is officially over prematurely, and we're gonna get straight into it. Let's talk about it. There are a few reasons why, as a family, we decided to end the food tour short. But before I get to that, I truly want to say, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate every single bit of love. The people of the Bay were absolutely.
Yeah, we had to cut the trip short, and I'm gonna tell you why. But before we get there, I want to sugarcoat it a little bit. So I guess some people, nobody's gonna get mad at him, bro. Everybody who lives in the Bay Area knows what's happening. There's a handful of weirdo lefty libtard white women who are maybe going to get mad at him, but everybody knows. Like I said, the word is out.
Amazing, and I'll never forget the hospitality and the love that y'all showed me. Reason number one,
I'll never forget the hospitality and the love that y'all showed me. But I'm leaving. I'm cutting the trip short. Okay.
Truly don't believe the Bay is a place for tourists right now, and that's what I was, a tourist. The people in the Bay are just focused on surviving. That's the bit.
It's so bad that San Francisco, a place that used to be for tourists, is no longer for tourists. They are focused on surviving right now. I mean, this is ridiculous. A regular dude. This is not a mainstream mediocre. This is just a guy who's in the trenches, right? I think they got pretty mad at him for some food review that he gave to an Atlanta restaurant or whatever. My point is, this is just a regular dude, and he's saying this is not for tourists. These people are just surviving, which means my life is in danger, so I'm leaving.
This is owners, the locals. The amount of tents and living structures and burnt up cars that we saw people living in was shocking, to say the least. Before we went, people was comparing it to Gotham City. Now, I might not agree, but I understand where it's coming from. But I can't harp on it enough that the people are amazing. It's just an environment. And as an outsider, I wish the city would step in. I don't know if they have. I don't know if they've been trying. But just from the outside looking in, it don't seem like it was much city interference. Reason number two, and this is in no particular order. We went to...
Well, the city is the reason the way the city is the reason it is the way that it is. So he wants to talk about, oh, the people were so nice to me. There's no city interference. I guess. I'm sure you have a bunch of fans and they show up and they're really nice to you.
A lot of restaurants, popular restaurants, not popular restaurants, mom and pop shops. And this is the first city where I have over 6 videos that I don't feel comfortable with posting because nothing about my experience was constructive and nothing that I...
So not only was he feeling like he was in danger and it was not a place for tourists for him and his family, but the food wasn't even good. And he didn't feel comfortable posting it because telling the truth is a big no-no in California.
Say it was constructive. I've always been big on honesty. I've always been big on transparency. But I've never been big on completely tearing down anybody. And I feel like those 6 videos only doing that. And I've always said I'm absolutely blessed to do this. But it does take a lot of money. It does take a lot of resources to do. At the moment, everything comes out of pocket. So when we had that many restaurants that we couldn't do anything with, that was just another deciding factor. Number 3, and probably the most important, I had to go to the hospital because I had an allergic reaction to one of the meals I had. This restaurant in particular cooked a plethora of meats, including shellfish. My family specifically asked if they cooked it on the same grill. They said yes, but they would clean it. The second I ate it, I blew up like a balloon. I had to get some steroids and some allergy medicine and it cleared right up. But it was a health concern nonetheless, and that was another reason why we decided to go home. I also think the Bay wasn't the target audience for what it is that we do. 90% of restaurants that the locals said had great food was already booming. And the people from the Bay are a loyal community. So if your food is good, the line gonna be out the door already. And then again, we went to some of those restaurants and I wasn't a huge fan. And even if I did like all of the food at the busy spots, that's never been my MO to just go to busy spots. So those are the reasons why we decided to cut it short. But nonetheless, some amazing things did happen while we were there. Chef Green's was one of the restaurants that I went to, and he had a news segment the day after we left. God is amazing. Mama T's also joined that category with a news segment the day after we left. God is amazing. And one of the places that we went that I didn't get a chance to post was a highlight of our trip. The name of it was Luxurious Cuisines. Customer service was absolutely amazing. And the food wasn't too far off of that. We went in as a family and we left for a $2,000 tip. So the trip itself wasn't all in vain. And again, I appreciate every single person that I met. I want to stress, it is not normal for us to go to restaurants, not like it, and not post it. Any other time we ran into the situation, I've always had some kind of constructiveness to say. This was just different. And again, I'm always going to be transparent. I'm always going to be honest. Thank you again to everybody in the Bay Area. We'll be headed to the next spot soon.
So basically what he says there is that the restaurants that he went to were so bad, except for a couple of them, and there was some news segments or something, but it was so bad I couldn't even come up with something constructive to say. And now the news will be forced to report on a regular dude who is telling you straight to your face, to millions of followers, that the Bay Area is not a place for tourists. So you're going to have London Breed and you're going to have the San Francisco DA pretending that crime is going down. It's all complete nonsense. The mayor of Oakland is now being recalled, or people are hoping to recall her. And what's happening here is just, there's no possible way that you can call this compassionate. It's certainly not incompetence. They are trying really hard to destroy what has been built by people before them. Beautiful architecture right near the water. And nothing's perfect. The Bay has never been perfect, but it was created by somebody before us. And the current political class, the current regime, is doing quite literally everything in their power to bleed it completely dry. And they're gaslighting everyone. They're telling lies so astronomical that it is clear they have no respect for anybody.
For the children.
And just some of the headlines that coincide with this incredibly popular TikTok MMA food reviewer and why the Bay Area and arguably California as a whole is no place for tourists. It has been turned into a third world country on purpose by the political regime. From NBC Bay Area, some Target and Walmart stores now locking up underwear as part of shoplifting crackdown. And you can go to almost any Bay Area grocery store. 90% of the stuff is going to be behind glass. Bro, they got the coffee locked up. From Fox 11 LA, convicted killer granted parole under California elderly people law. Victim's family speaks out. From KTVU, Fox 2 News, appeals court keeps injunction against San Francisco homeless camp sweeps in place. And he mentioned this in the video. There are tents everywhere, and the court is saying, yeah, you gotta leave them. From Cron 4 News, Oakland Lakeshore restaurant to close after nearly 15 years. And this is just a drop in the bucket. This is one of thousands. These stories are all over the place. So, all that said, it's over. Regular people can see through this. And on the plus side, this TikTok story is going to be forced into the mainstream by the news outlets who, while they constantly report on crime, still try to sugarcoat every single thing and let you know that it's really not that bad. There's already mainstream media outlets who are slamming this guy, defending San Francisco like a raccoon guarding garbage on trash day, but that's a different story. But millions of this guy's followers can now see him saying the Bay Area is not a place for tourists, which is putting it nicely. I'm not going to sit here and pretend you have to want to live in every place you visit, but everybody knows crime is through the roof. News crews are getting robbed.
Two CNN correspondents covering rampant street crime got a taste of some San Francisco hospitality after their rental car was broken into, even though they had security watching it. But hey, it's no big deal if your stuff gets stolen. This ex-San Francisco police commissioner is calling car robbery a basic city life experience.
They're hemorrhaging businesses and residents at a rate I don't think we've ever seen. So maybe some changes will be made, but more likely the machine will continue to steamroll anybody who stands in its way.